Nikki, thank you so much for coming over here today and just like talking about concert footage and capturing concert footage, because it's something that's not really tested that much like on YouTube. And so I figured this would be a great opportunity to do the camera comparison and then get your input on it and get your experiences with going to concerts and taking footage and what works and what doesn't.
You'd be surprised at how many like TikTok videos though there are of people like wanting now the Samsung Ultra, like because like we joke that like Samsung knows their target audience for like K-pop of like all of us like maximum zooming from like our nosebleeds.
That does make sense.
People actually joke about it. It's like a known thing.
Samsung is a Korean company.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna put the volume down because copyright, so you know how that goes. Anyway.
Wait, so which one is which?
So you're gonna see right there. So on the left we have the Galaxy S21 Ultra, and on the right we have the iPhone 14 Pro. So right now this is like the pre-set, like the artist is about to come out, and then the crowd starts to go crazy. Okay, now I switch to 3x zoom, and this is where we can start to tell some differences. But obviously every set has different lighting, different colors, whether the lights are facing the camera. This is right now like the jumbotron footage. So this is like the big screen. All these factors are going to affect how well you can capture footage from however far you are.
Right.
So now this is the 10x zoom. This is where we can really see the difference between the iPhone on the right and then the Galaxy S21 on the left. The Galaxy S21 has the dedicated zoom camera, and you can just clearly tell that.
Is this you zooming on the jumbotron that he's already
No,
stepped
that
out?
is him. That is him stepping out.
Wow, you can see the crowd.
Yeah, you can see the pit crowd.
And it's actually doing really well, like the software with all the flashing lights and not, because over here on iPhone we're very like washed out.
Yes, so the details are washed out and you can see some pixelation there. Now it's just
I can see her face and I can't see hers.
Yeah, you can see the faces here on the left behind.
Which is a big deal as a K-pop stan.
Right. So
okay, but here, you see here in 1x zoom, this is what annoys me. I prefer the way that the iPhone 14 Pro looks right now in just the 1x zoom versus the Ultra, which annoys me at how well that's doing right now. Because why?
Red is the most difficult color for a camera to reproduce. So right now, these are two different reds we're seeing on this camera. The iPhone kind of makes it look amber, not even red. And so the way that iPhone suppressed like all the bright lights, like it's not so harsh as it is on the Samsung on the left, but I prefer the picture on the right, the iPhone Pro, the iPhone 14 Pro. Now this is again 1x zoom, but you'll see as it progresses, it's gonna be a little different. Now this is 3x zoom. And again, like you said, the Samsung is crushing the reds. The reds are starting to blend into everything and you can't really tell what's what, but the iPhone is able to manage that.
Right, I feel like even though the iPhone's probably not a true color, as far as like if this were postable on social media, I would prefer the right side versus the left side.
Right, I mean, that might change when we get to the 10x part, but right now, the iPhone is winning.
In a wheelchair. Well, who's in the wheelchair?
One of the artists is in a wheelchair, and he's out on stage. I don't know what he's doing.
Is he okay?
I think he's okay.
Is he born this way? Am I gonna get roasted?
It's the wrong concert,
for
girl.
Not knowing why this man's in a wheelchair. Yes. Okay. Now in the 10x zoom, for sure, I prefer. Look at how much darker that black is. I can see like the ribs in like his jacket, like the folds.
Yeah. Yeah, the shadows are definitely better on the left side. The right side's a little fuzzy, but the right side still looks usable. You could still upload this. So this is one of the only few shots I got of the ultrawide, both ultrawide cameras.
Still prefer that one.
Still, yeah, the iPhone is still looking better in this setting,
just
specifically with the red stage, the red background and the red lights and stuff. But now there's a little bit of blue. Now the lights are different. Lighting's a little bit different. So,
wow.
But there's also, now you can tell there's lights that are facing the camera exactly, like they're flashing into the audience.
Right. So I just want to say that there's actually my favorite fan cam ever was ruined by the flash of the light, and it washed out his face, washed out my husband's face, and it ruined my video, and it made me so sad.
But it was what? It was too bright and it was blocking like the view?
Oh yeah, insert clip here. Just insert clip right here.
Now, your phone that you're using now is which one?
So I have a Samsung S20 Plus, the BTS edition.
Does your Samsung S20 Plus BTS edition have a dedicated zoom camera?
Yes, but let the record show that I am an Android user. So for me to compliment iPhone really hurts me. But I'll admit though, I will be standing in the crowd and I'll be zooming in on something and it's fuzzy, and then I see girly over here taking her fan cam and it's beautiful, and I'm just sad because I'm like, we're next to each other. Why is our video so different? She looked good.
Wait, which one?
The girl that like comes out like a disco ball in the middle.
Oh, I missed it.
Here we go.
Oh, right here?
Hold on. They like summon her with their like pentagram of silk. Having color guard war flashbacks. There she is.
I didn't even see her before.
Yeah, because you were looking at the iPhone screen where she's all washed out.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's why I can't see her.
Look, see, they like summoned her.
Okay, costume change.
So this is 9x.
So yes, the iPhone doesn't actually get to 10x. It actually maxes out at 9x.
I thought it advertises as 10.
The iPhone? No. No,
Okay.
the iPhone doesn't. The Samsung one does. The iPhone has a dedicated 3x zoom camera. So what you're seeing here is actually like digitally enhanced from the 3x zoom. But the one on the left is actually naturally a 10x zoom. It doesn't
Not an optical zoom.
It is an optical zoom. Because the Samsung has 2 zoom cameras.
Okay.
It has its 3x zoom and it has its dedicated 10x
10x zoom.
Right. This is actually Christina Aguilera. She sings a Mexican song, a Spanish song. But okay, so this is what I noticed on this jumbotron shot here. The one on the right is way softer and like more pleasing, but the one on the left, you can see like the banding of the screen.
You think the one on the right is more pleasing to the eye, really?
So let me explain why I think that. Because on the left, the banding of the screen is distracting to me.
Sure, yeah.
So,
okay.
and it may be a tad bit over sharpened. The one on the right looks softer. Now,
Fair.
in terms of color and saturation and contrast, I take the one on the left. But you see what it's doing
right,
to the,
but that can
to the
sometimes,
picture.
right, because this feels more processed and this one feels more natural, as if I were there.
Yeah.
Like what I would see versus...
And then an interesting point to make here in this particular set is that this lighting, but this was made for TV. So there is like so many lights coming towards the audience, and it's so much glare I could barely see Christina in the back. But you can see that the iPhone shows more glare than the Samsung does. There's that little ring of the glare is a little bit harsher. And even here, the left side, even though there's a light going right towards the camera,
It's punchier.
it's still cleaner. And then look at the details in the back. You see the details of like the birds in the back and the lines in the back. It looks way better on the Samsung.
It's crazy how different the color saturation is, though, from one to the other. It's almost like you're looking at 2 different concerts just based off of color alone.
Again, that's the red, but it looks more amber
Right.
on the iPhone than on the Samsung. Now this is a new set. This is
So,
yes.
Pause here. You see, what confuses me is like, why does that look so much better to me than this at the 1x zoom?
Why does this iPhone look
Yeah.
better at 1x than the Samsung?
Is it because of the reds again?
Right now, I think it is because of the reds. Because the red on the left side is too harsh and it's like flooding the audience. But on the right, you can kind of tell the separation. Drake, are you sleeping?
He's snoring.
Drake, you can't be sleeping, bro. This is a hot mic. Can I take you to the bed, please?
Goodbye, my love.
Come on, Drakey. Bedtime.
You breathe too loudly. Oh, but he's just a baby. I'm just a baby.
Over here snoring on my set. Stay right there. Go to bed. Stay. You were telling me that the picture on the right you like better. Okay, so what I was saying was there's clearly 2 different kinds of light, but on the Samsung one, there's no separation of the lights.
Right.
But on the iPhone one, you can tell that there's like, you can tell which color each light is.
Right, and I feel like visually, like if I were in this setting, this is more true to what I would see with my own eyeballs versus this over here, which feels very like, you know, like mob blob on the left with its processing. Like, yeah, the colors are punchier and stuff, but this one feels more true and more, you can see the individual people in the crowd versus over here, which is like a fire pit.
Keep in mind, this is a nearly 2-year-old Samsung phone at this point.
Really?
Yeah, because it came out early 2021.
Well, this is the 21.
This is the 21 that I have. So this is the Galaxy S21. The S23 is coming out early next year. So it's coming soon. I don't know how much they've improved on those things. Even with the 3x, the red is flooding the audience on the left side, but on the right side, it's more, you can tell the different people apart. But now I notice
Noisier though.
It is noisier on the right, and I don't know if that's because of the light flooding the lens.
Like the one on the right looks almost foggy.
Yeah.
In the Pro though, do you have that option of going to like Pro mode the way that you can in like the Samsung? Because usually when I'm doing my recordings, I go to Pro mode and I drop my ISO. So in the iPhone, do you have that capability?
I don't think I've had it long enough to know that, so I couldn't tell you for sure, yes. This is the last set. So this is another jumbotron shot, and it's gonna go to a zoom after this.
But I see what you're saying though, definitely about the jumbotron. Like there's less noise, less banding from the TV versus the Samsung one.
The jam at every quince ever, and every wedding in Miami. Suavemente. We're about to see these girls getting it in a second. There it is, there it is.
Ooh, ultra HD zoom of the pleather pants.
Yeah, like he's kind of behind a screen right now until he comes out of it in a second, but. And
wow, check out their pants compared, like the comparison of just the pants. And I like that I can see her face because that's like a big thing to me. Is like I need to be able to see the details of their faces. So right now I feel like Samsung's just crushing it.
in this very moment.
I mean,
or overall.
So far. I mean, other than oddly enough, like the 1x, the 1x standard, I feel like I keep preferring the iPhone visually.
Yeah.
But in the zoom, like 100%, like right side would be disappointing to me, and I also would not be able to post that as like a good aesthetically pleasing, you know, fan cam versus.
Yeah.
Say like, look, even beyond him, like further back, I can
like,
see
you can see
that guy in the back, way back, tall man over there. I can actually see his face. I can see the details of his face.
I can see his fade. He just got squared up on the. Yeah.
A little too square.
I wonder if Samsung decided, oh, what's the highest zoom that the iPhone can go? 9 times. Okay, let's make a 10 times camera in that bitch.
Because they're thinking about us in the nosebleeds and us in the 200s, fighting for our lives.
That was the footage of the concert. What is your verdict? Do you have a verdict?
Samsung.
Samsung?
For zoom purposes. Now, if I were in a setting where, say, I was like lower bowl,
okay,
right? I have a feeling that I would like the way that the iPhone was processing better than the Samsung. I think at the 1x, you know, capability. I mean, at 3x, then immediately after that, I kind of just lean immediately towards the Samsung.
Yeah, that was actually gonna be my exact same verdict. Is if you are getting the cheapest, farthest seats, Samsung. But if you are getting a lower section or even like pit seats, iPhone. Because
I think the software like would process it in a way that is more pleasing.
Yeah.
And like just like quick, like from phone to social media.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I think it would just handle the light changes better too, especially because colors, like especially in concerts, like you have a lot of different flashing lights and colors. It changes really rapidly, and I feel like the iPhone would be able to handle that better.
What are you doing? You want to come up here?
Hey, baby.
No snoring though. Come on.
Hey, baby. You're so soft. You eat a lot of omega-3s.
Oh, I don't want to
Okay, but why do you have so many icons on your desktop?
Girl, it's a long
What?
story.
No, why? What is that?
Because I don't use this computer anymore.
That's still, like, what year are you? Like, what in the world?
Drakey, why do I have so many desktop icons?
Is your email address still at AOL.com? Like,
Who has it? Who? No, hotmail.com. Thank you very much. The other extinct one.
help me. Mama, cannot come out.
Cannot escape. The Pixel's coming out this week. The new one's coming out this week. I hope they're delivered.
In which I need you to then do low light zoom tests for me.
Okay.
Because
I will be looking out for that.
Because now, as of right now, I've officially decided to not buy an iPhone. Not that I was gonna buy one as my main driver anyway, but as my backup.
Okay.
You know, I'm not, first world problem. I was gonna buy an iPhone for recording concerts and not use it as an actual valid cell phone.
I mean...
I was gonna split the cost with my brother, okay? Like, I'm not that bougie. But, now that I've seen the comparison, I'm so team the Ultras.
Oh, yeah.
The Ultras are fire.
The Ultras
like, that was fire.
Are the way to go.
Because to be honest with you, I won't always be a barricade bitch. It's not. Why? That's what we call them, barricade bitches.
Yeah.
Because when you are one, it's the greatest thing ever. But when you're not her, you real sad.
Well, Nikki, thank you so much for coming by and talking to us about concerts and concert filming. It is definitely something that a lot of people care about. Is there anything you want to plug? Where can people find you?
Add to my 30K followers. You can follow me at Nichibomb on TikTok. I posted my old fan cams, but I have more that I can post when I'm not being, saving lives in the hospital and whatever.
Well, thank you again for being here and hope to have you on again soon. Yay.
Hi, Twiggy.
Bye, Drakey.
Say bye.